Good morning to you, good morning. It's Monday, I know that. Is it the 10th of June? I think. What I do know is it's Whit Monday, the day after the Feast of Pentecost, which is a public holiday in France. Anyway, I'm currently on the road towards Mézières-en-Brenne. I'm going to stop there because there's a cash point machine there, and then I'm going to drive pretty much in the same direction for quite a long time on a little bit of an adventure. I'm going somewhere that I've never been before. The plan is that I'm going to visit a donkey fete. I think that's what the sign said. I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. Well, I've arrived, and I guess if you go to a festival of donkeys, I guess you ought to expect to see some donkeys. There's a few, isn't there? One or two of them are protesting. I don't think they wanted to get up quite so early this morning. Oh, this one clearly thinks it's some sort of film star. Look, people have got their cameras out, and this sweet little donkey has just decided that it's going to walk through the rope and become more friendly with us. There are market stalls which I shall walk around and examine. I thought we'd just come and have a look at these. These most definitely aren't donkeys. Chèvres, goats. Well, they can come too. We don't mind something other than donkeys.
Allez, sur le côté, donc, sont en train de s'installer des associations aussi, des producteurs, des gens passionnés comme...
C'est la même.
Juste, on écoutera les autres, bien sûr, les commandes en tout cas. Alors, s'il y a des gens qui ont encore du temps de présenter leurs animaux, il faut accélérer, on va dire. Hein, ah, il y avait les derniers qui viennent d'arriver qui sont en...
Oh dear. Donkey fell over. Wasn't good, was it? Now this piece of equipment sort of caught my eye. It's a thing for walking round and round, and one assumes that one harnesses one's donkey or goat or I don't know, small child or something to it. And obviously you walk round and round, and there's a very different sort of bell housing to the one most of you are used to, but that's definitely a gearbox and a prop shaft, and it's rigged up to this machine, an Lignieres, which is a thing that you chuck wheat into, and it I guess it takes the grain off of the straw. Interesting, look. PM Mayfarth and Co. Frankfurt. By the way that's rigged up, I think we're going to see a demonstration of that later, don't you? Perhaps. I wonder how many of you grew up listening to blacksmiths dinging their hammers and ringing them on the anvil. Always a skill that fascinated me. Leave the donkey fair for a little while and take the opportunity to walk around this town. You know, I've never been here before, so let's see what else there is to see. That's the town hall. Furniture. No, I don't need any furniture at the moment. It's quite an interesting mechanism for extending a table, isn't it? But we'll walk further into the town proper. Well, that's a rather grand house, isn't it? Yeah, very pretty. There's just the odd little fleck of rain in the air at the moment. So we'll walk up to this gate and then we'll see if this building is open. Got a feeling it might not be. This, of course, is actually where Brother George has moved to. He says he's gone to Tennessee, but we know differently. He's bought this place with its big gates And it's private drive. Défense d'entrée. That's a bit special, isn't it? An old chateau. With the church right next door. What more could you want? Just in case you don't want to be seen going to church, look, there's a door through the wall right by one of the side doors to, I guess that's the vestry. And a derelict mill over a mill race by this river. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to go into this building here. In common with a lot of churches, the lights aren't on while there isn't a service. Inside the church we find a memorial to the Les Enfants, des Enfants de Lignieres. And I've got a feeling the camera's going to get a bit humpy about swinging round with light and dark. Statue of St. Joan, of course, we are in France. And St. Anthony, just in case you've lost something. It's quite a massive building. Massive in the sense of the columns are quite huge. It's quite a chunky sort of back piece for an altar, isn't it? As I say, the light is sort of against camera work. Now this is a statue dedicated to the memory of, now being an Englishman I made the mistake and said Solange, but of course here in France she is Saint Solange. I will talk more about Saint Solange later. Let me just say that that's an incredibly complete statue for that particular saint, but it depicts her as a shepherdess in bergère. But yes, more about Saint Solange when I get home, I think. And you know, France, well, France is very proud of many of its saints. And I'm fairly confident that that's Sainte Thérèse of Lisieux. And this is just a shot to tell you where I am. In a car park with a toilet. Yeah, no, there's a lot more to this town besides the car park and the toilet. Of course, there's a war memorial. Apart from it being a sad image, you know, and sadly she's lost part of her nose, but she's wearing clogs, as she would have been in 1918. There's a little tablet there to the widows and orphans, victims of the wars. A pretty little memorial garden, unusually for a war memorial slide. I've walked around the town, I've seen things, and I'm going to walk back to the showground, the Place de Foire. Just to remind us that we're in France, there's a sweet little Citroën de Chevaux 2CV. But what I meant to show you when I saw it the first time was actually this painting on this wall. If I can get round without getting run over or arrested or whatever. If we look at the chap on the right, he's carrying a tool. He's got one over his shoulder, a sort of ploughy sort of thing. I've got one of those. And in his other hand, he's got his walking stick and a tool like the one that I dug out of my garden. Generally, they're described as a serpe. It's a sort of gardening, pruning, hatcheting, sort of general purpose tool that you can do all sorts of things with. But I just thought I'd show that to you because, well, I thought I would. That's why. And while I was wandering about, I read some literature about these donkeys, because normally we think about a little donkey, a little grey donkey, but these are the big black donkeys of the Berry region. Some of them have actually got a lot to say for themselves, haven't they? Now, for those of you that don't speak or read French, the sign says donkeys for sale, contact that chap there if you want to buy a donkey. Not quite sure how you'd get it in the luggage, but...
Elle leur pose, hein.
C'est un peu comme ça, hein, parce que sinon...
Ouais, mais c'est sa copine.
Allez hop. C'est qui se bat? Oh, ça va pas.
Il est costaud lui, hein. Ils sont mélangés, regarde.
That's more like the sort of donkeys that you lot think about. That's your little donkey sort of donkey, isn't it?
Un animal, je dirais, bien sous tout rapport, mais qui n'a pas de marque remarquable. Une encolure un petit peu fine, peut-être un peu légère. Trotine un petit peu même se déplaçant, mais enfin là il est sur le caillou. Et puis on a mis, après bien des discussions, parce que Hugolin et Périgazan.
Bah là, regarde, je veux rien entendre. Alors c'est pas vrai. C'est quand même pas bien. C'est pas bien.
Bon, c'est notre guidon. La première de ses qualités, c'est qu'il est issu de Piverne. Donc son sang permet de recouper un petit peu la race. Il est un peu trop gras.
That's your genuine Rastafarian donkey, isn't it?
C'est comme si tu les embrasses.